will see the young man from Arlington, Lamar. As Notre Dame won the toss, they will receive. Mitchell Becker to kick off for Texas.
So we know one starting quarterback, but we still don't know the other one yet.
That's a good point.
We'll find out that one here in a minute.
As C.J. Sanders from just inside the 5. And he was met hard at the 20. Falls forward to the 22. Breckenhager with the special teams tackle. And it will be Deshaun Kaiser, Todd, the junior quarterback. Who started 11 games and had 8 wins a year ago. More experienced of the two quarterbacks.
Well, he came in the Virginia game when Malik Zaire, the starter, was injured and ended up throwing a game-winning touchdown pass late to Will Fuller and played extremely well for a guy that wasn't anticipating starting 11 games.
Kaiser to pass to open up the season, and a shot downfield where it is defended and incomplete. He was looking for St. Brown. Haynes had coverage. The impact players, and with Notre Dame on offense, will start with their left tackle. Mike McGlinchey moves over from right tackle this year. All the way too early draft boards have him as a first-rounder himself. St. Brown is the receiver you just saw, and Malik Jefferson continues to be a rising defensive star for Texas.
The real challenge for Texas will be defending the Notre Dame run.
And here it is with Folston, who gets off a good run, and he's free. Tarian Folston finally taken down by Malik Jefferson, and what a start for Tarian Folston. 54-yard run.
Well, you have to account for all gaps. Now, the outside man is going to be concerned with the quarterback, but nobody is going to take this gap. And Folston sees it, and that's just too big of a hole and one missed tackle by Nashawn Hughes, and a huge running play to start the game for Notre Dame.
And to consider what happened a year ago with Folston when he tore his ACL against Texas. Josh Adams comes in to replace him. And Adams able to muscle his way to the 19-yard line. 7th year for Brian Kelly with the Irish, the first coach to take Notre Dame to a bowl game in each of his first 6 years.
Well, the one thing Brian Kelly knows is that the best way to take energy and life out of a crowd like this is to run the football with success. And that's why they're going to challenge Texas right away.
2nd and 5. Kaiser keeps it. He was tripped up. Did make his way down to the 17-yard line. It was Poona Ford in the middle who got to him.
Poona Ford is a really fun guy to watch. He doesn't fit the bill of a defensive tackle, about 5'10", a little over 300 pounds, but he plays with great technique and quickness.
As Kaiser checks over on 3rd and 4.
And with both of these quarterbacks, the ability to run is a factor on 3rd down, and particularly in the red zone.
Folston, he had lots of room before any contact was made as he will move the chains.
In the 7 games that Texas lost last year, they gave up an average of 230 yards per game rushing. This is just power football. The dominant side of the Notre Dame line is the left side. That was a double team between McGlinchey, the tackle, and Nelson, the guard, and an easy first down.
Irish offense rolling early here. Kaiser at the helm. To the end zone. St. Brown, touchdown Irish. Equanimous St. Brown at 6'5", up and brings it home.
Got away with a little bit of a push at the end. Devontae Davis is big by corner standards. He's 6'2", but as you mentioned, St. Brown is 6'6", and a beautiful throw to the outside shoulder by Deshaun Kaiser and Notre Dame strikes first. You throw the football there, it's impossible to defend.
There's the pylon cam look. Very athletic. EQ St. Brown. They think he's going to be a breakout star. As Justin Yoon tacks on the extra point.
Last year, Will Fuller was the dominant receiver for this Notre Dame team. 62 catches, almost 1,300 yards, 14 touchdowns. And Brian Kelly told us yesterday, he says, this guy, EQ, he's the guy replacing Fuller at that W wide receiver position, and he's had a great 29 days, and we expect him to have a big year. Well, he's off to a great start tonight.
I'll bring up the loss of Fuller. 81% of their total receiving stats gone from a year ago, but you can see the upside with the athleticism of some of these young guys who can emerge.
They're talented.
What a catching radius on St. Brown.
Yeah, quarterbacks love that. There's a large margin for error.
Young man who was born in Germany, speaks German. Dad's got an interesting athletic background. Two-time Mr. Universe. Kaiser with the big run from Colston and a finish from St. Brown. And the Irish take a touchdown lead and strike fight first early here in Austin. Well, here's the moment that the locals have been waiting for. The debut of the true freshman, Shane Buechele.
Well, he's a very talented guy, had an excellent high school career, graduated in January, enrolled early, and went through spring football here and really lit it up in the spring. And I just think his skill set fits the offense that Sterling Gilbert, the new coordinator who came from Tulsa, kind of originally came out of the Art Briles coaching tree, as a GA for Briles at Houston. And Buechele just fits skill set-wise what they want to do offensively better.
Here's a new look offense. 10 personnel. And a good start to it with Deontay Foreman moving the chains right away with a 13-yard run.
And tempo is the thing that Sterling Gilbert brings more than anything. Not the X's and O's, the tempo, playing fast.
Snapping with 31 on the play clock. That is up-tempo. And Texas with another 5 yards forward.
The good thing that this offense has for a young quarterback is two powerful running backs to turn and hand it to. The running game, very important.
First pass of the career of Shane Buechele, and it's complete to John Burt. And they're past midfield already. 13-yard reception.
And when you run tempo, you better make a couple first downs to get momentum. And this is a perfect drive for the young quarterback and the Texas offense.
Here's Foreman again. At 249 pounds, surging to the 35-yard line.
Nice job cutting inside the block of his pulling guard, Patrick Vahe, on that play.
Buechele with time, launching it downfield to the end zone, just beyond the outstretched arms of Ja'Cory Warren.
Incomplete, Joe, but what that does is send a message to Brian Van Gorder and the Notre Dame defense that if you fall asleep, this offense will attack you vertically. If you watch Baylor play, they love to run the football and they love to throw the ball vertically. That was incomplete, but it sent the right message.
3rd and 2. Quick pass complete. Another first down. John Burt.
You see how quick the ball gets out of Buechele's hands. Again, that's what you have to have in the passing game portion of this offense. Right now, a beautiful blend and mixture of run-pass.
That's Kent Perkins, the big right guard. Perkins a real leader to get up at the end of that last play. He's the most experienced offensive lineman.
He's been a real leader this camp. Very vocal senior. conditioning, when you change to this kind of offense, conditioning is huge, and the position group that it affects the most is that offensive line. And they've made a real commitment to being able to play this tempo.
Chris Warren comes in now as the back flanking Buechele. And he will get the call, but he's unable to slither free against that Notre Dame front. Sophomore from Houston, Elijah Rodriguez, stepped in to replace Ken Perkins. As Texas once again quick to that line. A 2nd and 8 now. And Warren bounces free and then is met again, as it was Avery Sebastian cleaning that up. So Trent will get involved as well. So a 3rd and 6 for the Horns. Ninth play of the drive. True freshman Shane Buechele.
Find a matchup here if you're Buechele.
Over the middle, he threw it a bit behind Jake Oliver.
Yeah, if that ball was on the front side of Oliver, maybe he's able to keep running or stretching for the first down. But because it was thrown a little bit behind, it slowed his momentum down, and he was hit short of the sticks.
4th and 1, no hesitation. Deontay Foreman in at running back. First down, Texas.
What an important play for this Texas offense. New system, freshman quarterback, and your head coach says we're going for it on 4th and 1, and we're going to go for it by running power football. They pull the guard, and you got a 250-pound back that just kind of finds a way to knife in there for the first down.
Buechele to the end zone again. Score it! Amani Foreman! Fire it, Smokey! Cannon shot! Longhorns on the board!
Armani Foreman is the twin brother of Deontay Foreman. And he said, you know what? I'm going to show up in this game too. A beautiful throw to the outside shoulder. Does he get the foot down? Yes, he does. That is beautiful footwork by the receiver and a perfectly placed ball by the quarterback. Cole Luke, the most experienced defender on this Notre Dame defense, was the guy beaten in man coverage. You're going to take a look at this, I'm sure, but there was no bobble on the catch at all.
Ruling on the field is catch and touchdown. Previous play is under review.
We have seen both quarterbacks make a throw to the corner of the end zone that is unguardable. When you throw it over the outside shoulder towards that back pylon, it can't be defended. Either your guy catches it or it goes harmlessly out of bounds.
Let's take a look and see if he had firm control.
If he has control and the ball touches the ground, it's okay, as long as the ball is not moving as he goes to the ground.
As long as the player retains that firm control and it doesn't move during his action at the end, he's fine.
After further review, rolling it on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
Both offenses scored by throwing touchdown passes, but it was set up by their ability to run the football and put this defense, both defenses, on their heels.
Trent Maine with the point after. You like offense in seeing what they've got with their true freshman quarterback. What we have is a great one early on. 7-7. A lot of fun here on a Sunday night, deep in the heart. C.J. Sanders. Good kick coverage from the Longhorns. Only a return of 14. Brandon Jones with the special teams tackle. And there is a flag down at the end of that return. Gary Patterson is our referee. He's from the ACC. We got the Big 12 upstairs with the replay guys.
After the play, personal foul, face mask, number 44, on the kicking team, 15 yards, automatic first down.
So after the good kick coverage, Todd, the Irish get it right, moved out.
Well, and those are the kind of penalties that Charlie Strong definitely does not want. I mean, they got excellent coverage. They're going to make Notre Dame work the long field. As we see Malik Zaire getting ready to come in for his first series. He was the starter in this game last year, went 19 of 22 for over 300 yards, played a brilliant game, and then was injured in the second game of the season.
Only 3 incompletions against Texas last year, and 2 of them were drops by his receivers. Holston, this time, fouled up by Omenahu.
The difference, beyond the obvious difference between these two Notre Dame quarterbacks, Kaiser is a right-hander, Zaire is a left-hander. They both are capable runners, but Zaire is a gifted runner. He has the ability to extend plays and make special plays with his feet, more so than Kaiser does. Kaiser the better pocket thrower, but Zaire is gifted when it comes to running the football.
Hands off again to Folston.
Much better start to this series in defending the run by Texas. They gave up 65 yards rushing in that first scoring drive. And on 2 rushing plays in this drive, a much more stout front.
Vance Bedford, defensive coordinator for Texas, said they've been working on communication. And this spot, getting off the field, 3rd downs.
Texas showing man coverage.
Zaire steps up in the pocket, tries to just throw it forward that time as the pressure got to him with Paul Boyette.
Running on the field, incomplete forward pass, 4th down.
Well, we mentioned Kent Perkins being a leader on that offensive line. Paul Boyette, the senior defensive tackle, number 93, spins right in to the quarterback and then does a great job of wrapping up Zaire around the waist and not letting him skip out of the pocket.
Tyler Newsome on to punt. Corey Ward, the senior, back to return. Newsome turns this one over, drives him all the way back to the 12-yard line where he is met right away.
Pretty good football player down there on the special teams, your tailback Josh Adams.
Great coverage by Adams. Big punt from Newsome.
Gary, I don't know how many there were handlers he had, but Bevo 15 was the one calling the shots on how fast he was going to get himself to that pen.
He is cared for by that student-led group, the Silver Spurs. Deontay Foreman, he puts down that shoulder at 249 pounds. He's only going one direction, 5 yards for Foreman.
And those are all wins in this run game. And that's great balance. That's 7 runs and 5 passes now to start this game for Texas's offense.
Watch that play clock down in the bottom right corner, and there is a flag coming in as Texas tries to go fast.
Driver snap, false start, number 76 offense, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Let's check in with Holly.
Well, right before he took the field for the first time, Shane Buechele was so calm. I was standing right next to him. He's the first freshman to start the opener since 1944. Think about this. It's rare and unusual. But he went over, gave Sterling Gilbert a big hug, his new offensive coordinator. Totally calm, and that calm demeanor is carrying over to his offense right now.
No doubt about it, Holly. What an impressive start on that opening drive. And nearly tackled for a loss that time as James Onwalu came in.
Boy, he took a great course to the football. No wasted steps upfield, read the play, and came right downhill for the tackle from behind.
And he got the honor of wearing that number 1 jersey tonight, handed out by Brian Kelly.
This is where the young quarterback has to be smart. If it's not there, don't try to force anything.
3rd down and 8. He's going to take a shot for Burt. Right off his hands. Buechele laid
Boy, I like this kid's arm now. That's the third vertical shot they've tried in this game. They're only 1 for 3, but that one's on Burt. He's a track guy. He's got great speed. He had separation from the corner, Coleman, and that's just a catch that needs to be made. John Burt, the leading returning receiver, had a chance for a big play right there.
Instead, it is Michael Dixon ready to punt away, and C.J. Sanders can give the Irish great field position here as he's set up near the 45. Calls for the fair catch all the way back inside the 30. 58-yard punt with a 4.9 hang time just when they needed it most. Hey, this great opening weekend of college football continues Monday night with Ole Miss and Florida State, and coverage will begin at 7 Eastern on ESPN with College Football Countdown. Big expectations with Dalvin Cook and the Noles this year.
Yeah, they're loaded. You know, the big question for them was going to be quarterback, what kind of productivity they get. McGuire hurt, Francois the starter, but they are talented all across the board on both sides of the ball.
Sean Kaiser back out for the Irish. Already a touchdown pass for Kaiser tonight. They go empty on first down. And Kaiser's able to get it complete to Torrey Hunter Jr.
Torrey Hunter Jr., one of the 5 Texans on this Notre Dame roster. Out of Prosper, Texas.
With a first down for the Irish, a 7-yard run for Josh Adams.
Well, what you're seeing with both of these teams is you're seeing personnel groups and formations that look like passing formations, but they spread the defense out with the ability to run the football. Now, this is an empty set, but don't be surprised if the quarterback doesn't run a draw either.
Kaiser inside screen, nowhere to go for St. Brown. Well defended by Jason Hall.
Now, Jason Hall read that immediately. Sometimes you call that little underneath screen hoping for a blitz. It was not a blitz, and it was well read by Jason Hall.
And Zaire looks on, and Kaiser faces 2nd and 10. Holston had to try to cut back, and Hager and Jefferson were waiting on him. A loss of 2.
Well, Hager got the tackle, but Jefferson did a beautiful job of keeping contained and forcing the ball back inside to his teammates. Played with discipline, maintained leverage, and brings up a 3rd and long for Notre Dame.
And the roar of DKR thunders down.
It was a 3-man rush, and then Jefferson kind of came on a hug blitz. He doesn't blitz right away. See him 46, but as soon as he sees the protection go away and forget about him, then he comes unblocked. Good patience and timing by Malik Jefferson to get to the quarterback.
Texas defense just looks different. Energy in this place just feels different. Hey, in the AT&T Inside Access at practice this week with the Horns.
I'll tell you what, he was legit. I've been at practices where celebrities show up, talk to the team, then scoot out of there. He was there for the entire practice and fully engaged.
As Chris Warren tries to test that left side. I mean, he's a football guy. Dad played at Kentucky, played at Houston, was actually drafted by the Packers. And he local here in Austin, teaches a class at UT.
Talking to the coaches, talking to players, taking pictures afterwards. I was impressed.
Warren, maybe just a yard that time, as Isaac Rochelle, who's a big force up front for Notre Dame. He's primed for a big season with the tackle there.
Yeah, he was a little bit overshadowed last year by Sheldon Day, who was kind of the big name guy on the defensive line. But Rochelle had an excellent offseason and is really, as you say, poised to have a huge year.
Freshman Shane Buechele, 3rd and 5. Throws that one away as Rochelle with his 18th quarterback hurry over the last 2 years.
Well, what really improved for him this year is his quickness and his foot speed. And you can see it right there on the inside move. Just split right between the offensive linemen and got to the quarterback. Brian Kelly said he had a back injury last year and didn't do any squatting. And that injury was taken care of, and he was able to squat again in the weight room and work on that explosiveness, and it's really shown up here this summer.
Quicker, more impactful. Dixon on to punt again. 2 3-and-outs now for Texas. And a well-placed, well-driven punt.
Well, they gained 15 yards on the last punt exchange in field position. And this is another situation where they maintain the field position edge. Both defenses have settled into the run game pretty well.
Reminder that Monday Night Football is back on September 12th, the annual doubleheader. They got Steelers and Redskins. That's at 6:55 Eastern. Then at 10:15, 49ers and the Rams. Coverage begins September 12th with Monday Night Countdown at 5 Eastern on ESPN.
I'm just wondering if Coach Gruden is making Sean McDonough take quizzes on film study prior to the games.
That crew's already having a lot of fun, as we are tonight with this entertaining one. Malik Zaire back in at quarterback as Josh Adams found nothing in the middle, tried to bounce it to the outside, and finally was tracked down by Holton Hill.
One of the real points of emphasis in the last recruiting class Charlie Strong signed was defensive linemen. And a lot of the guys in this 2 deep and 3 deep of defensive linemen are freshmen. They're big bodies, and they've got to play some significant snaps tonight.
Zaire play action. Mishandled the ball for a moment. Here's where he's dangerous. One cut, and he's close to the line to make. He'll be just short. A gain of 8 for the very capable Malik Zaire.
A little bit of a collision there, and the ball came out. Zaire kept his poise, and you just can't give open lanes like that to Malik Zaire.
Adams on 3rd and 1, and he has the first down for the Irish.
In terms of rushing the passer, I'd say you have to rush these 2 quarterbacks a little bit differently. You have to really use discipline in your upfield rush against Zaire. Again, Kaiser is a capable runner, but he's not going to hurt you as much running it as if you give open lanes to Malik Zaire. Both guys, Ohio high school quarterbacks.
One from Kettering, one from Toledo. That is complete. Zaire's first completion of the day. It goes to Durham Smythe.
Smythe only 3 catches on the season last year, moving into a much more prominent role in his senior year. Another Texas native out of Belton, Texas.
Second and 2 run for Folston. They'll give the Irish another first down.
Running to that left side. Again, that's where their power and experience is. It starts as a double team between the tackle and guard. And then the tackle moves off to the second level, and an easy first down conversion.
Both offenses came out hot. Kaiser and Buechele with touchdown passes. The defense is settling in. A good one here. ABC Primetime College Football presented by Capital One will continue after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Football playoff on a hot night here in Austin. Joe Tessitore, Todd Blackledge, Holly Rowe with you here. Number 10 Notre Dame and Texas tied up at DKR Texas Memorial. Swapping quarterbacks. Kaiser struck first for the Irish. Now Zaire in at quarterback as Tarian Folston takes it ahead, taken down by Hill, a gain of 8.
Pretty good run there. You know, Folston had 54 yards on his first rush and the first running play for Notre Dame. And before that 8-yard run, their last 12 runs, only 31 yards. So the Texas defense has really started to play a little bit more sound and stout against this Notre Dame run game. And again, that's where it has to start. If you can't stop them from running the football, then you have a very difficult time.
Yeah, stout was not an adjective that was being applied last year to that defensive front. Folston's very talented, 2nd and 2, gets the call again, and there is that Texas front. Chris Nelson with a tackle for loss.
A great penetration that time by Chris Nelson, sophomore out of Lakeland, Florida. Watch him come right into screen here, right up into the backfield, maintains leverage, wraps up until he gets some help. A big negative yardage play by the running game.
3rd and 7. Remember they came up with that stop and sack on 3rd and long moments ago. They only send 3. Shovel pass underneath. Adams, first down. Irish crossing midfield. Good play call from Notre Dame.
Yeah, it really was. And a nice job blocking, picking off Malik Jefferson. That's the key guy you got to get blocked here. Here's Jefferson, and watch the lineman get able to get out and get a piece of him. The right tackle, Alex Bars, gets enough of Jefferson to enable Josh Adams to get upfield for the first down.
Adams again, as he's able to twist and turn his way to the 41. Zaire to pass on 2nd and 5. And incomplete.
That's a hard throw. That's good discipline by the Texas defense. If you want to flush Malik Zaire out of the pocket, you want to make him go away from his throwing hand, where he has to really get his shoulders around and throw on the run. You don't want to let him roll out left and escape pressure. You want to make him get outside to the right. And that's what they were able to do there to force another 3rd down play.
Eleventh play of a drive to start at their own 13. Converted a couple 3rd downs in the mix here. Now 3rd and 5 for Zaire and the Irish. Batted away that time by Anthony Wheeler.
Really good coverage by Wheeler. He had inside coverage, and the corner is going to peel off and be there to help. But Wheeler is the guy who's able to get his hand on the football. There was contact, but he was making a play on the football as he made contact with the intended receiver.
And Notre Dame offense is right back out there on 4th and 5. They will go for it.
Have to contain Zaire as a runner on this play. You know what? They didn't get the ball snapped, and Brian Kelly had to call timeout.
Notre Dame.
He was asking for it.
Malik
Zaire
Zaire.
wanted it.
Yeah, you're right. He's clapping, wanting the snap. And the center, Sam Mustipher, had not snapped the football, and Brian Kelly had to use a timeout.
Remember, it's Mustipher's first career start.
Well, Notre Dame got a break here. Brian Zakowski is the line judge, and he is going to look at Brian Kelly, and when he turns to look to Brian Kelly, he doesn't see the ball is snapped. He gives Brian Kelly the timeout. Notre Dame probably shouldn't have gotten it, and that's probably the best thing that could happen. Not only do they avoid the penalty, they get to go on the sideline and make sure they know exactly what play they want on 4th and 5.
So here's your 4th down. And a flag comes in.
Snapping infraction. Number 53. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Now, this isn't a good run from Sam Mustipher, the new center.
Well, they got the 5-yard penalty anyway. Texas did. Now I'm sure Notre Dame's going to try to pin him deep.
Go down to the field to Holly.
The center, Sam Mustipher, it's his first start. He's already been warned once by the referee in this game that he's moving his head before the snap. So he's been trying not to do it, but that had been a warning earlier in the first quarter. Sam Mustipher's got to get that fixed, and they've been trying to do it on the sideline.
Aussie-style back rotation punt here from Newsome. And Notre Dame able to work with that, pinning it at the 12. Now celebrating its 12th year sponsoring the Good Hands Field Goal Nets, Allstate makes contributions to participating universities' general scholarship funds for each field goal and extra point kicked. And to date, Allstate has contributed millions in those scholarship funds. Tyrone Swoopes started last year's game at Notre Dame. Gave way as the starter. A career record of 6-8.
I'm not surprised that we are seeing him in the game. I am surprised that we're seeing him in this part of the field. I thought we'd only see him in the plus territory in the red zone when the quarterback run part of the offense would really kick into effect. I'm a little surprised that he's coming out deep in his own territory.
And I think so is the crowd, as you heard a reaction, but they have a package for him, and this is typically what you see. And he has success with it. They call it the 18-wheeler. Some big bodies in there, Tom.
Well, when you run the quarterback by design, it forces the defense to account for 10 blockers, and that's unusual. You really have to commit extra defenders to stop the quarterback run.
Now with Foreman leading the way, Swoopes, a first down for Texas. 6'4", 249 pounds out there running the ball.
So obviously they were going to run the package with Tyrone Swoopes no matter where they were on the field. And 2 good plays by the senior quarterback to get a first down. Now he can throw. And when you run the quarterback and you force that defense to load the box, it might open up some one-on-one pass situations.
Foreman with room crossing the 30-yard line. Texas offensive line doing a pretty decent job.
Yeah, they are. We talked about the freshman center for Notre Dame, Zach Shackelford. This center for Texas is also a true freshman. Played high school football last year. Came in early and has really established himself as a leader up front.
Foreman again as he runs over a would-be tackler. That was Niles Morgan who came up to meet him. 6 yards there. Another first down for the Longhorns.
And the reason Foreman is getting a little daylight in the running game in this possession is because of the success that Swoopes has had running it. The Notre Dame defense has to account for both of them.
Swoopes picking his hole, and it was the right one. Crossing midfield, 14-yard run.
Well, this is just power football. He's following the tight end, Andrew Beck, number 47. It's an ISO play with the quarterback. Tyrone Swoopes is 6'4", 250 pounds. That's 3 250-pound running backs that Texas has.
Foreman again as the lead blocker for Swoopes, following well. As Nick Coleman, the corner, had to come up and bring down Swoopes.
They've really got the upper hand on Notre Dame's defense with that possession. Buechele back in, and I'll tell you what, Tyrone Swoopes deserves a big hand for getting this offense some momentum and making Notre Dame account for a different aspect of this offense.
And now Buechele. Here's the other side of things. Burt couldn't come up with it. So you see the power cue game with Swoopes, and you see the arm downfield with Shane Buechele.
That ball was underthrown, though. Burt again has track speed. A long throw from the right hash mark to the left sideline. That's just got to get out of Shane's hands a little bit sooner.
Sterling Gilbert, the new offensive coordinator, with a change-up of Swoopes, and now back to Buechele. And what will he dial up here on 3rd and 6?
Got to use a timeout. Little confusion.
Timeout, Texas. That's their first timeout of the first half. Full
timeout. Well, she loves to say, well, fantastic.
Last year, 38-3. Now a 7-7 game.
During the timeout,
Swoopes is back in there, Todd.
Buechele called timeout. They thought about it, and they're going back to Swoopes on the 3rd down play.
And he will run it on 3rd and 6. Tried to reach out, comes up just short. A flag is down on the near side.
Texas sideline clapping as if it's offsides against Notre Dame.
Remember, that was 3rd and 6.
Offside. Defense. Number 98. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
That'll tee up an easier task. And you see the look on the face of Brian Kelly.
And I think you stay with Swoopes. The quarterback run game has been effective. And again, you still have to account for the 250-pound Deontay Foreman in the backfield as well. Just because you know what the play might be doesn't mean you can stop it.
3rd and 1. Swoopes. He was taken down for a loss. Niles Morgan and Isaac Rochelle did a great job up front.
You have to stop him before he gets ahead of steam. Excellent play on the inside. Darrell K, watch number 75. He's the first guy to get there and slow him down. Doesn't get the tackle by himself, but he made the initial move.
And now it's Foreman on 4th and 2.
You know, they lined up and kind of quick snap the Notre Dame defense. Notre Dame wasn't completely set on 4th and 2, and they got the conversion.
Quick to the line again. Keeping this 18-wheeler package rolling.
That's the 11th running play on 1st down for Texas against only one pass. The one pass was a 19-yard touchdown pass by Shane Buechele, but a little heavy on run pass on 1st down.
New guy in town, Sterling Gilbert. New offensive coordinator. He's going to pass now. Looking for Burt. And he overthrew the speed burner, John Burt.
Well, we've seen all three to Burt. We've seen one thrown perfectly that Burt dropped. We've seen one underthrown by Buechele that Burt couldn't make a catch, and that was an overthrown ball by Tyrone Swoopes.
Now, if you watched the Auburn-Clemson game last night, your head was spinning with all the quarterback substitution by Rhett Lashley and Gus Malzahn, that Auburn staff. We got dueling banjos here with Buechele and Swoopes just on this series.
Look out for Gerard Hurd here. They have not got his hands on the football yet, number 13.
3rd and 7, complete underneath. Getting free was Jake Oliver. 1st down, Texas. Reception for Oliver.
Notre Dame came with a full blitz. It's zero coverage, which means there's no free safety. Everything is man-to-man. And where Oliver caught the football and contact was made, he did not have a 1st down. But his ability to hang on, break the initial tackle, and keep going forward got him the conversion. Watch, here's the hit right at the point of attack. Sebastian, if he makes that tackle, it's short of the 1st down. But Jake Reed able to hang on, or Jake Oliver, and turn it into a 1st down.
once again, Kent Perkins had to be tended to at the end of that play. And Alex Anderson, a sophomore, will come in and take his spot on the offensive line. But Uncle Mo is with this Texas offense right now. Momentum with the combination of Swoopes and Buechele. And here is Foreman getting to work again to the 10-yard line, tackled by Niles Morgan, who's been very active for the Irish defense.
Deontay Foreman in an offense last year that could not throw the football. One of the worst passing teams in the country. He still averaged 7 yards a carry.
Quick pass. And Foreman didn't have anywhere to go that time. A loss of 1 as Avery Sebastian was right on it.
Now, Cole Luke was there as well and really made a good play. He's the guy that got burnt for the touchdown earlier. That time, you're expecting the other wide receiver to get a block, and they couldn't block Luke.
Remember, this drive started on their own 12-yard line. They're to a 3rd down, a 4th down, and here they are in 3rd and 8. Empty set for the freshman Shane Buechele. They bring pressure over the middle, complete. It's going to be 1st and goal. Longhorns. Jake Oliver, big spot again.
Well, they find the matchup. Jake Oliver working on a safety, and they went right to it again.
Quarterback sneak now. Waiting, touchdown, Texas.
Boy, that's smart. That is really smart. Shane Buechele looked to the sideline. They're saying, go, go, go. Notre Dame is lined up. The linebackers are 5 yards deep in the end zone, and he went right up under center and went for the quarterback sneak.
Talk to enough folks down here, and they'll tell you a maturity beyond his years, a gamer type, a natural-born winner, and he's got that it factor. And on that drive, he also had help from his friend, the senior Tyrone Swoopes, who got things started, running the ball, playing quarterback. Now the lights on, the sun setting here in Austin, and the home team up a touchdown. Joe Todd and Holly with him. And C.J. Sanders and Dexter Williams back to return for the Irish. Sanders won't get a chance. Tonight's Capital One pivotal performance time.
Well, that last drive was a thing of beauty for Texas. It started on the 12-yard line with Tyrone Swoopes at quarterback. He ran 5 times for 30 yards. This first play was a quarterback counter with a guard and a fullback leading. And then they got down into the red zone, and Jake Oliver was the guy. They found the matchups. He had 3 catches, all 3 of them on 3rd down situations using that big frame, and that led to the 1-yard quarterback sneak by Shane Buechele. But 16 plays, 88 yards, 2 quarterbacks. Very impressive drive for the Longhorns.
And now the quarterback who started the game for the Irish, Deshaun Kaiser, back in. Play action. Kaiser with time. Good strike to Torrey Hunter Jr. And Dad likes it. Long-time major leaguer.
I think this is the way Notre Dame has to try to attack now. They need to try to stretch this Texas defense. The Longhorn defense doing a much better job against the run than they did a year ago in South Bend. Got to stretch them and make them play honest against the pass as well.
Bunch grouping to the near side with Folston in the backfield. And Folston keeps those legs churning out to the 49.
Kaiser was 8-3 as a starter last year. The 3 games that he lost were to teams that ended up in the final AP poll ranked number 2, 3, and 4. Not a bad resume in your first year.
2nd and 5. And Folston was met by Nashawn Hughes.
Where Kaiser really excels and shows maturity beyond his years is his ability to read and recognize and make adjustments to protections and plays at the line of scrimmage. He has a real knack for seeing what the defense is doing and trying to get his team in the right play.
Does he read that here on 3rd and 3? The right play, the right time. Tries to get loose. Reaches out, and he's going to be about 3/4 of a yard short as a flag comes down, and Jefferson and Buechele were on him.
Flag in the area of holding. Good pressure. It was only a 3-man rush with that delayed blitz by Jefferson again.
10-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Texas able to generate a nice rush on DeShone Kizer with only 3 committed rushers.
You know, this stadium has been panned in recent past as being filled with a wine and cheese crowd, but listen to it tonight on 3rd and long. And the Irish come up big. Kizer with a strike to Equanimous St. Brown.
He's such a big body, 6'4", 205 pounds, but how about the protection? This is a deep dig route. Takes a long time to develop, and a beautiful throw by Kizer out of a clean pocket.
Coming off a great month of a fall camp up in South Bend with St. Brown. Not much room against what appears to be a much improved defensive front for Texas.
Well, they just seem to be much more fundamentally sound. You know, these younger guys are a year older, a year stronger, and they're just playing with more fundamental soundness. Again, I think the game was too big for a lot of these guys up in South Bend last year. It's not too big for them tonight.
Overback draw. Kizer, as we said earlier, grossly underrated as a runner.
A very capable runner. That was a quarterback draw by design. He showed patience in allowing it to set up, but this is a quarterback run all the way. He's got his tailback, Josh Adams, as a lead blocker. And you just see he just runs differently. He covers up that ball with both arms, and he runs more like a fullback when he gets to the point of contact.
Piecing together a good-looking drive here. Kizer and the Irish. Empty set again. Kizer downfield, wide open, caught, and what an athletic play into the end zone by EQ. Did you see him somersault off his hand? Wow!
Well, Kizer saw what he wanted. EQ running right down the seam with no safety over there to help. The free safety, Haynes, was late getting there. And then a beautiful catch and balance at the end by St. Brown.
As Justin Yoon ties up the game. And on a night where Texas is feeling a star is born with their young freshman quarterback, perhaps the same is true with Notre Dame and their sensational receiver, Equanimous St. Brown. We got a good one here in Austin.
Financial company.
He's got Josh Adams going up here. The thing you got to watch, the corner and the safety. These two defenders are both going to go with Josh Adams on the wheel route, and Kizer sees it immediately. As soon as he saw that gap open up in the seam, he was quick to get the football there, and the result was a 30-yard touchdown. His ability to see and recognize and process quickly is what makes him special in this Notre Dame offense.
Kizer with the 2 touchdown passes, 6 of 7 passing. And short kickoff by Yoon. Let's check in with Holly.
Well, Malik Zaire, the quarterback for Notre Dame, had been in on an extended drive earlier in this quarter. So Zaire comes to the sideline. Deshaun Kaiser has been staying mentally engaged. He said, you know, I know it's going to be tough with us rotating back and forth. So my goal is to not let human nature take its course, not to be sulking, not to be upset if I'm not in the game. He's been standing right behind the play callers, the guys who are signaling in the plays. He's staying mentally engaged in the game. I've seen him go over and continue to talk to his offensive linemen, and it paid off because on that drive when he had to be sharp on that crucial third down, he was ready to go because he has made it a point to stay mentally engaged.
Boy, he sure was, Holly. Glad you're with us here for ABC Primetime College Football presented by Capital One. All tied up between number 10 Notre Dame and Texas, and Chris Warren able to get that out for a gain of 3.
Last year in this ball game in South Bend, Notre Dame outgained Texas 527 to 163. I mean, they are playing on even footing tonight, not just score-wise, but yardage-wise, running the football, passing the football.
And that is complete to Gerard Hurd, new quarterback to old quarterback.
You know, he hurt his shoulder late in March, and it put him behind in the quarterback battle, and he voluntarily moved to receiver.
Quickly to the line on third down, and it works out again. Chris Warren able to move the sticks.
See, when your tailbacks are 250 pounds, even if you don't block it perfectly, if he doesn't get hit in the backfield, momentum's going to get you 3 or 4 yards.
Look at the tempo here. Downfield, Buechele wide open into the hands of Gerard Hurd. Just tripped up that time inside the 1-yard line. It was Sean Crawford who had to reach out in desperation.
Another vertical shot. He was beat right away. And a beautiful throw by Buechele, showing the ability to strike quickly.
And speaking of quickly, they sprint down the field on offense. A flag is down as Chris Warren was bottled up.
Illegal substitution. Defense. 12 men in the formation. Half the distance to the goal. Repeat first down.
Brian Kelly and Brian Van Gorder, the defensive coordinator. Their boys had to hustle down after that 68-yarder.
Gerard Hurd still learning the nuances of being a receiver, but he's such a dynamic player because of his speed and his ability to run. He was the key reason they beat Oklahoma last year with 115 yards rushing.
Chris Warren reaching out, and he is short. As Drew Tranquil wrapped him up.
Second down.
That's a really good tackle by Tranquil. You got to hit a guy high at the goal line. If you hit him around his legs, he's going to fall over you into the end zone.
Buechele, whistles blow as Buechele.
I think they're going to take a look at this.
Moving on the field with the ball carrier was stopped short of the line of the touchdown. Previous play is under review.
That's a good thing for Texas because they weren't getting in on that play.
You're right.
They stood the freshman center Shackelford right up and stopped the quarterback sneak. So Texas got a break there because of the replay booth. Question is, was his knee down before that ball crossed the plane? It appears that it is.
I think that ACC crew down there on the field got this one right. We got the Big 12 replay officials upstairs taking a peek.
Right now, you got to wonder what Sterling Gilbert is thinking here on this play. If this is ruled short, Shane Buechele got stood up on that quarterback sneak. Again, he's only 190 pounds. Tyrone Swoopes, a 250-pound quarterback.
You expect to see that 18-wheeler package come in here, Todd?
I don't know. You're inside the 1-yard line. I wouldn't be surprised they just give it to Foreman.
After review, ruling on the field stands. Second down.
You're inside the 1. You should be able to power the football in. However, I will say that second down is the down to try to throw if you want to try to fool him.
From the half-yard line.
Swoopes is in. So now you've got an extra blocker. If the quarterback runs, you've got 10 blockers.
158 on the game clock. 158 on the game clock.
And you have an extra offensive lineman both on the line and in the backfield. This is their heavy package.
They stood him up. Niles Morgan again. Texas wants the extra effort in that second surge.
Ruling on the field, progress will stop. Third down.
But you hear from Gary Patterson saying that progress was stopped.
Boy, just a beautiful job. I'm not sure which defender it was on the end of the line that went low and got penetration into the backfield and stood up 2 Texas blockers at the point of attack.
And the reason why Patterson was so clear in saying forward progress was ruled.
Ruling on the field. Runner was stopped short of the goal line. Previous play is under further review.
Let's bring in Bill Lamagnier, our rules expert. Bill?
Well, the ruling on the field, if they initially ruled that this is forward progress, replay's not involved in it. However, if replay determines that there was a score before he was stopped, that the initial progress across scored, they could reverse it.
But once that moment happens right there, Bill, and forward progress is deemed to have been stopped, nothing after that happened.
They should not review it at that point.
The guy who made the play was Jonathan Bonner, number 55. He was the guy over the tight end that came inside with leverage and tied up 2 blockers and forced Tyrone Swoopes to get stopped.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. The ball carries forward. Progress was stopped. That play is not reviewable with forward progress stopped. Third down.
So Bill's point.
Yeah, and correct. That was excellent defense. First by Jonathan Bonner, and then the defenders behind him to stop Swoopes short.
So under a minute and a half to play here in 3rd and goal for Charlie and the Horns.
And I think if you're Charlie Strong right now, your team has had momentum. You're thinking 2 plays here. I don't think you're thinking field goal, even though you'd love to go in with the lead at halftime. I think you're thinking 2 plays. We have to be able to get the ball in the end zone. They've got the heavy package in again. 2 extra offensive linemen in the game.
To the outside. Touchdown. Chris Warren led the way, and Swoopes brought it in. Big Jake McMillan was lined up back there, too.
The guy who got beat on the play before, Andrew Beck, number 47, got the key block this time. He was the motion tight end, and instead of trying to run the ball inside, he got a block to seal the outside for Tyrone Swoopes.
Andrew Beck, who's an H-back tight end for Texas, is down at the end of that touchdown play as they will help him off the field, favoring that right leg.
They tried to run inside. Remember the quarterback sneak that got nullified because they were reviewing a play. 3 inside runs from the 1-yard line got stuffed by the Notre Dame defense, and that time the design was to go outside, and Tyrone Swoopes able to score.
Big number 18. It's been effective tonight. Longhorns got themselves a touchdown lead, and they did it with two quarterbacks. Buechele to Gerard Hurd, a former quarterback. And then that 18-wheeler's coming down the highway, folks. Tyrone Swoopes. Hook 'em. On the road, season opener. Down a touchdown to the team that many think could be the most improved in the country, Texas. Well, this outstanding opening weekend of college football continues with number 11 Ole Miss and number 4 Florida State from down there in Orlando. 7 o'clock it gets underway with college football countdown. Dalvin Cook is so special as the running back, but the dynamic Chad Kelly, the quarterback for Ole Miss, will be in the spotlight tomorrow, Todd.
He likes playing on a big stage too. You know, he's a very confident guy. Plays with a lot of swagger. A little bit of Brett Favre in him, I think. Just went into the Hall of Fame this year.
And here's a talented one in front of us, DeShone Kizer. A lot of time for the Irish quarterback. And finds his man underneath. That's the running back, Josh Adams.
You're running a hurry-up offense at the end of the half. The first down is the most important one. And that time, Kizer, initially with great protection, and then when he had to leave the pocket, kept his eyes downfield.
Here's Kizer again. And that was incomplete as he was looking for Torrey Hunter Jr. Two timeouts for Notre Dame. 50 seconds to play here in the first half.
Remember, Notre Dame won the toss and elected to receive. Texas will get the ball first to start the second half. So momentum in the locker room with the lead could be huge for this young Longhorn team.
That hit his last 7 pass attempts prior to that. Now facing a 2nd and 10. Adams. And they found him with Anthony Wheeler. So a timeout will be called.
Notre Dame, that's their second timeout of the first half.
And Josh Adams is still down.
This is a team that had a lot of injuries throughout the year last year. We mentioned the starting tailback, Tarian Folston, was injured in this game early with a
30-second
knee injury. Missed the rest of the year.
Now they feel like they solved that problem, the injuries, applying some science to college football. Sleep and nutrition. The problem was off the field in recent weeks. And the issue on August 19th, and recent arrests. 5 Notre Dame players were arrested for marijuana possession. 3 of them were originally charged with possession of a handgun without a license. Max Redfield was dismissed from the program. He was formally charged with illegal possession of a handgun. Devin Butler is suspended indefinitely. Others are in action tonight. And Holly has more on that.
Well, after that incident happened, the senior leadership on this team said enough. They initially put some rules on there like, guys, you've got to stop going out. And DeShone Kizer said, you know, we thought, hey, we're college kids. We want to have fun, but people have got to be responsible. He put it pretty simply. Just don't break any Indiana State laws and we should be good. But they know they have a special season on hand. They just have to be smarter about how they're handling it.
And by the way, their athletic department policy states that first marijuana offense is an educational process. It's never been a suspension with a first offense. 3rd and 7 here. Kizer. Sturdy in the pocket and incomplete as St. Brown couldn't corral it that time. He's been sensational otherwise.
Ball was a little bit low and slightly behind him, but definitely catchable. Kizer stays in the pocket as long as he can, and watch, the ball is a little bit low, and the big tall receiver not able to go down and scoop it up.
So Tyler Newsome on to punt. And Warwick runs upfield. It makes the most of a good return. So there's going to be 28 seconds remaining for Texas with 2 timeouts. A 41-yard punt, a 20-yard return, and a late flag. We'll check on that.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Number 30 on the return team. 10-yard penalty. First down.
You know, prior to this penalty, I thought Texas might have been aggressive here and tried to get in field goal range, but the penalty on Tim Cole at the end of the play when he was already out of bounds.
Completely unnecessary, Todd.
Now I would expect Texas to take a knee, try to run out the clock again, to go into halftime with a 7-point lead and getting the ball to start the third quarter. I don't know that Charlie Strong could have scripted it or asked for anything better.
They were thumped a year ago by this Irish squad.
This is a Texas offense again last year that averaged 146 yards passing a game. They have 145 yards passing tonight and 250 yards of total offense in the first half. I'd say the Sterling Gilbert experiment and the new offense has worked pretty well so far.
And they will indeed take a knee. Welcome to college football, Shane Buechele. Counting for a couple touchdowns. Swoopes putting them ahead before the half. Reese Davis, Desmond Howard, Davey Pollard
played with confidence when he came in, and they've made enough big plays. Both teams have had long scoring drives. There have been 5 touchdown drives of over 75 yards in the ballgame.
And Deshaun Kaiser looks pretty good playing quarterback there for Notre Dame. We'll see how much we see of Malik Zaire. Great opening weekend. It doesn't happen by accident. ESPN programmer Dave Brown, a big part of putting all these matchups together. As Brownie likes to say, toe meets leather here for what should be a thrilling second half. Moments ago, Holly with Brian Kelly.
Well, Coach, you went back and forth with both quarterbacks in the first half. You were waiting to kind of see if someone would establish a rhythm. How do you handle the second half?
They still both need to play. I mean, I think we missed some throws, made some throws. I think we left some offense out there. But, you know, I guess it's still about the first game. They're still finding themselves a little bit, but I think they'll play better in the second half.
How do you think you adapted to the Texas tempo in that new offense?
I thought we did a better job. Of course, we gave up a big pass, you know, so it kind of mitigates that a little bit in the sense that, you know, we started to do a better job against the run. I thought they did a good job answering with Swoopes. The quarterback run game we have to make a couple of adjustments with, but, you know, all in all, you know, obviously the big play pass concerns us. We have got to tighten some things up on the back end of the defense.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Holly. He mentioned tempo and pace. That was a big part of Texas's output there. New offensive coordinator Sterling Gilbert here in town now.
You know, and pretty good execution. Only 1 false start penalty, no turnovers.
Here's Buechele. This time he finds John Burt. What a start to the second chapter of an opening night. 78-yard touchdown pass. Buechele to Burt. That was deflected, that extra point, but still went through.
Well, Brian Kelly told Holly we got to do a better job in the back end of our defense on the deep balls. Right out of the gate, John Burt, the the track guy, going against Nick Coleman. The corner runs right by him. And Shane Buechele does a great job of getting rid of the ball early. Watch how quickly it's out and lets his man run under it. He knows the speed of Burt. Don't and this time Bird hauls it in for a touchdown. You keep going back to him. He's a home run hitting type receiver. And what a way to start the third quarter for Texas.
Prior to tonight, a true freshman hadn't started the season opener at quarterback at Texas since Bobby Lane back in 1944. A lot of people thought this could be the start of something big, a whole new era for the Horns. He's delivering. Dexter Williams. And he returns it for the Irish out just past the 25.
Well, you take a look. Since Colt McCoy, they just have not had the same kind of success. Remember, they had Vince Young before Colt McCoy. And from the period of 2000 to 2009, unprecedented success for Texas football here in recent history. And ever since then, they have not had a quarterback that was able to deliver. They thought Garrett Gilbert would be the next one. There's Vince Young. He was honored at halftime with the championship team. But after Vince and Colt McCoy, they have not had a guy, and they were hoping and praying that maybe this is the guy in Shane Buechele.
And now the guy for Notre Dame is going to be Malik Zaire. As he keeps it and tried to spin free, and then it was Hughes finding him. Hall made the hit as well. Zaire was just 2 of 5 passing in that first half for 23 yards as he's been splitting time with that man, Deshaun Kaiser, who has the 2 touchdown passes tonight. Folston drives ahead just past the 30, taken down by Paul Boyette. A bit of concern on the face of some of the Irish faithful who have made their way down here.
Now this is a big third down play for Malik Zaire right here. Texas came out of the gates and scored on a big play. You have your first third down situation. You want to keep some momentum and don't let this crowd get fired up again quickly.
Superman on top of him. Kenny Vaccaro came flying in, and Malik Zaire came crashing down.
Well, Vaccaro comes unblocked. Here he is right here. And Zaire knows that the blitz is coming, but he's just not able to get away from it. He thinks the ball fake might get him up in the air and out of the way, but Vaccaro lands right on top of him after he jumps. Part of the reason was from the other side, Malcolm Roach, number 32, was closing in as well. Zaire nowhere to go.
As Newsom punts away, and Warwick on the return, weaving his way just short of midfield. A flag comes down at the end of that 10-yard return by Ja'Cory Warwick.
During the return, blocking the back, number 8 on the return team, 10-yard penalty, first down. Timeout.
Shane Buechele and the Longhorns offense back to business when we return.
If you have a typical airline
for Texas compared to tonight.
Yeah, it's a completely different team. I mean, again, we made the point earlier, for a lot of these young Texas players, the game was too big last year. It's not too big, and it's certainly not too big for this freshman quarterback, Shane Buechele, who has been outstanding in this revamped Texas passing game. Texas has had 18 first down plays in the game, 16 runs, only 2 passes, but both passes have been huge.
Flag is down as Buechele gets it to John Burt. And the Notre Dame defense swarms him. So full loop, quick to get out.
Offside. Defense. Number 90. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
That's Isaac Rochelle, their best and most versatile defensive lineman. So a 1st and 5 for the Longhorns.
Brian Kelly's telling him that's 2 times tonight that he's gotten called for being lined up offside.
Number 56, offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Freshman center for Texas, Zach Shackelford. You got freshman center, you got a freshman quarterback.
Yeah. Well, again, I'm impressed with not just the speed and the tempo that this offense is playing with for the first time, the first game, but also the execution level. Not very many penalties. I know we just had one there. Good blend of run and pass and no turnovers so far in the ball game.
Now Sterling Gilbert deserves a lot of credit. He's Charlie Strong's 4th play caller in 3 years, and he is a difference maker. One of those real young hotshot play callers of the game. Another deep ball from Buechele that was thrown underneath. Flag comes in as he was looking for Foreman, and Nick Coleman was on the coverage.
And Nick Coleman had no idea where the football was. This ball, as you mentioned, was underthrown.
Pass interference. Defense, number 24, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
I mean, he's can't find the ball, and as the receiver, Foreman is trying to come back to it.
The poor throw caused the penalty.
Absolutely. Coleman's just trying to play catch-up. He's the guy that John Burt ran by in the last Texas possession.
Foreman straight ahead. And Greer Martini with the tackle. Foreman again. This time tried to bounce it to the outside, but he was unable to get around the edge of Julian Love. And 2 flags come in at the end of that.
Yeah, a little extra effort between Connor Williams of Texas and Niles Morgan.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 5 on the defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Well, Brian Kelly told us in the meeting yesterday he is by far the toughest player on our defense. But what he's talking to him about right now is you can't make those kind of plays and extend drives. We're hanging on for dear life right now, and we're giving him extra yardage.
And 3rd defensive penalty of this drive alone. Chris Warren on first down. Nifty hole as he rolls over Devin Studstill for a Texas first down. And here's that pace and tempo right back to the line is Buechele. And right back to Warren as he's inside the 10 to the 8-yard line.
Now, anybody who's watched Baylor play football the last couple of years knows that, yes, they throw the ball vertically, but they want to run first.
Stacked up that time was Warren as Morgan and Studstill brought him down.
That is the coaching philosophy, the coaching tree that Sterling Gilbert has come from. He and the offensive line coach, Matt Maddox, also came on the staff, both from Tulsa. They were at Tulsa for a year. They were at Bowling Green for a year before that, and then 2 years at Eastern Illinois. So a fast riser is Sterling Gilbert, and he's off to a good start here in Austin.
3rd and 6. Buechele to the end zone. Incomplete. Thrown to the inside a little high of Jake Oliver. You mentioned Eastern Illinois, and he helped with the development of Patriots quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo. And he's had a good run as Sterling Gilbert. Matt Maddox, package deal coming over, offensive lineman, offensive coordinator.
Well, with this offense, again, they're friends. They grew up together. They were GAs together at Houston under Art Briles, and they kind of go hand in hand because that offensive line has to be in sync with the tempo and be in condition to run this kind of offense.
So Trent Domingue on for the 25-yard field goal attempt, the grad transfer from LSU. And he puts it through, and Texas extends their lead. Domingue's field goal makes it 31-14. Passing, and Tyrone Swoopes coming in with that 18-wheeler package has been the reason they're up 31-14. C.J. Sanders with a nice return for the Irish. Todd, let's take a look at the Pacific Life game summary, and we will start with focusing in on Shane Buechele.
Well, he's been hot. 10 for 15, 218 yards, a couple of touchdowns. Looks very confident. And then when they brought Tyrone Swoopes in, he started a drive on the 12-yard line, ends up with 7 carries. DeShone Kizer also hot throwing the football. I would expect at this point we're going to see mostly DeShone Kizer the rest of the way for Notre Dame.
As he enjoys the best starting field position that Notre Dame has had tonight. And here goes Kizer. He runs it for a gain of 5. Guys with the 2 touchdown passes tonight to the athletic Equanimous St. Brown.
And the other guy that has to step up for you if you're Notre Dame right now is Torrey Hunter. He's the guy that has some experience. They need him to step up and make some plays.
Good to see Josh Adams back healthy for the Irish. Remember, he stayed down after a play earlier tonight. Good run as the Irish cross midfield. Need to get something going here.
Well, the short kickoff, the nice return by Sanders, and now 2 plays later, they're in Texas territory.
Kizer to pass. And a strike is caught by EQ.
Well, that's just beautiful timing and throw by Kizer. You run the play fake, so you hold the linebackers, the underneath coverage, and then you just rise up and deliver a strike.
He pulls it from Adams, and it was a great choice by Kizer. Inside the 10, and into the end zone. A 29-yard touchdown run for DeShone Kizer.
Well, Sherrod Evans, number 1, is going to come unblocked to the top. He's going to have a shot, doesn't make the play, and then you see the safety miss the tackle as well. Vaccaro, who had the sack on Zaire, misses the open field tackle on the bigger Kizer, and Kizer shows you his ability as a runner, and a quick touchdown for Notre Dame.
Those last 2 steps, that balancing act, still with that power and speed. Justin Yoon closes it to 10. DeShone Kizer, been nothing wrong. Joe Todd Holly with you as DeShone Kizer, Todd, has given Notre Dame a spark.
Well, he made a nice play, but watch the safety now. Kevin Vaccaro, he's going to have to fill this alley, and he's unblocked. and he's got to be able to make the tackle on the quarterback. He misses the tackle on Kaiser, and the result is a touchdown. Now, he made a nice play sacking Zaire in Notre Dame's first possession, but that time a mistake cost a touchdown, and he's in there because Dylan Haynes, the starting safety for the last 2 years, is out with a head injury.
Here's Kyle Porter, good-looking freshman running back on special teams. Reminder that Monday Night Football comes back your way September 12th. The Week 1 annual doubleheader we always serve up. 6:55 Eastern. You got Big Ben and the Steelers, Josh Norman and the Redskins. Then at 10:15, West Coast matchup, 49ers and Rams. And coverage will get underway with Monday Night Countdown at 5 Eastern on ESPN.
Well, Charlie Strong is not happy with his freshman running back Porter. First of all, I thought it was a mistake that he brought it out of the end zone. I think he was frustrated because he hadn't touched the football, and then at the end of the play, he gets into a little scuffle, and he's the last guy to do something. Both guys swing, but he's the one who swings last and gets seen, and now Texas has to back up and start deep in their own territory. So a costly mistake by a talented young player.
Yeah, he was tussling with Nico Fertitta there, who's the son of the co-founder of the UFC.
Well, I think right now
this is
Notre Dame's defense. That they have to step up here.
Here's the 18-wheeler package again with Swoopes. And Notre Dame was all over it. Well read by Niles Morgan.
Notre Dame's defense, with the aid of the penalty, has them backed up. Tyrone Swoopes is in the game. They need to get a 3 and out and get their offense back on the field. And their defense has not had a super game against this Texas offense for sure, but they've got a nice opportunity right here.
Swoopes just trying to shake free in the backfield and struggled to do that. Finally surging ahead. As Morgan was involved again. And there's a Texas player who is down. And that is Tristan Nicholson, who rotates in as an offensive lineman.
He just got back healthy a couple days ago.
Had an ankle injury, right?
Yeah. Notre Dame player fell into the back of his right leg.
That was Jerron Jones, who weighs 315 pounds. Down on Nicholson. And with a 3rd and 7, Shane Buechele will come in to play quarterback. That time, Sean Crawford inside the 10, and Notre Dame is in prime position.
There was inside pressure on Shane Buechele. He's only 6'1", and watch the pressure come right up the middle and force the high throw. It's Rochelle who's in there. The ball is tipped by Ja'Cory Warwick, but the pass was thrown high because of the pressure of Rochelle, and Notre Dame with the first turnover of the football game.
A golden opportunity now for the Golden Domers here. 1st and goal. Kaiser and Folston in the backfield. Can they cut into this Texas lead?
2 tight ends set here. And remember, we've already seen the running ability of Kaiser.
Just a gain of 1 from Folston that time. As Poon and Ford clogged up that middle. Kaiser couldn't escape Malik Jefferson.
Excellent play by Jefferson. Great discipline on the outside. He didn't go for the fake. He played his position and his responsibility, and then was able to still fall in and make the tackle for a loss of yardage. You got EQ right here in the inside slot, the big receiver.
Third and goal. Pumps again, extends, end zone, touchdown, Torrey Hunter Jr.
Well, he was looking for St. Brown on the post to the back of the end zone, and it's not going to be there. His first look is back here. He doesn't have it. He escapes and extends the play, and that's when Torrey Hunter was able to uncover on the quarterback scramble, and Notre Dame in the end zone again.
What a way to respond. The Irish are right back in it, thanks to Sean Crawford picking off the young gun, bringing it back, and then the veteran Kaiser to Hunter. Todd, that these Texas fans want to grab on to something good.
Yeah, you could feel it. It was tangible here around the complex, around the university, around the city of Austin. And I think they're happy with what they're seeing tonight in how competitive this Texas football team is.
Let's go down to the field to Holly.
Well, I kept my eye on Shane Buechele very carefully after his first career interception for Texas. He came to the sideline, and he didn't go back and sit down with the rest of the team. He couldn't bear to watch. He wanted to stay right here and see if Notre Dame was able to score off his turnover. But the offensive coordinator, Sterling Gilbert, came over, patted him on the helmet, said, "Hey, we're okay, kid." Buechele said, "Yeah, I know. He's anxious to get back out there and redeem himself." Keep in mind, he's a very calm kid. His dad was a major leaguer for many years. This kid doesn't get too flustered.
Yeah, Steve Buechele, 11 years a major leaguer and currently a coach with the Texas Rangers.
Well, here's my observation right now, Joe. And I would say this for both teams. With Texas with the ball, I think you stay with Buechele at quarterback until you get in the red zone, or you want to get in where you run the quarterback with Swoopes. I don't think you start series and on third down bring Buechele in anymore.
Quick throw was through the hands of John Burt. Remember, Burt had that amazing way to start this second half. 78-yard touchdown reception.
And then on the flip side, I say, Deshaun Kaiser, you finish the game if I'm Brian Kelly, because he has got them in a position to be right back in front of in this football game.
Now here's a position for the Notre Dame defense to come up with a stop and keep the momentum that they've been building up.
Inside pressure on the last play, third down play by Rochelle. Forced a high throw.
Chris Warren tried to break free, but all the Irish joining in the party. James Nwalu and Sean Crawford and Brian Van Gorder's bunch did a really nice job right there.
Little twist game on the inside, and Jerry Tillery, number 99, came on the stunt right into the play. Nice choice of a defensive stunt on that running play, forcing the punt now on fourth down.
The Australian-born Michael Dixon out to punt for the Horns. C.J. Sanders back at his 19. Well, it's been an unbelievable weekend of college football. Todd, we got to sit back, watch it all with this Sunday assignment, of course. Oklahoma and LSU, two top 5 teams going down. Alabama very much looked the part of what you would expect, dominating USC. The stars were shining. Chubb was sensational for Georgia. You know all about McCaffrey and Stanford on Friday night. And J.T. Barrett, many think a Heisman hopeful. Kaiser to pass. Downfield he goes, and he threw it beyond Boykin. Todd, a lot of people get all rattled about week one.
Yeah.
A little too much hype somewhere, pointing fingers too much other side.
Yeah, I just don't think you can get carried away. A lot happens between week one and week two. It doesn't make a season. You know, Alabama looked great yesterday, looked dominant. Does that mean they're going to look like that week in and week out? Probably not, okay? Tennessee on Thursday night barely won, probably didn't deserve to win. They'll be better next week. You just can't make too much out of one game.
Second down, they go inside with Folston. Well blocked, and a good run by Folston. 17 yards from Kaiser.
Now, having said that, I will say what Houston did, because that game was a huge game for them, was very impressive. And Greg Ward Jr. is legit. So is Lamar Jackson at Louisville, a legit quarterback coming into the college football season this year. And J.T. Barrett, I think Ohio State is much better and going to be much better than people think they're going to be.
Adams in the game as we saw Folston limp off the field. Holly will be on top of that. And he's tackled by Anthony Wheeler. Let's check in with Holly.
Well, guys, that left hamstring is starting to cramp up a little bit for Tyrone Folston. Brian Kelly was very concerned about the heat tonight. He actually forbid his players from coming out here too early. He cut their pregame routine in half to prevent a situation just like this. Folston getting it massaged out and taking liquids right now.
2nd and 7 now. And Dexter Williams in at running back. 3-by-1 receiver formation for the Irish. And Kaiser keeps it himself again with great success. And flipped upside down by Holton Hill.
Well, he really held that fake long and enough to really fool the Texas defense. Watch him hold the fake with Dexter Williams. And then he's able to cut it up inside for a strong gain from the quarterback position. Again, not the niftiest or shiftiest runner, but a very effective runner.
Empty look here on 1st down. Kaiser has found his rhythm. A lot of time here, and he goes underneath to C.J. Sanders. And Sanders in the open field is dangerous, as Sanders works his way down to the 17-yard line.
Tremendous protection by this Notre Dame offensive line. Kaiser is 6'4". He can stay in the pocket and dump it down to his outlet receiver, but he had a chance to survey the whole field before going down to that check down receiver.
Folston had limped off. Now he comes on. As he's lined up in the slot on the near side, you see number 25. And Kaiser bring Notre Dame all the way back here. Folston kept his balance for a moment. Gain of 2+. So he was met by Deshaun Elliott.
Texas trying to get some fresh bodies in there on the defensive line. Gerald Wilbin, one of the freshmen, in there right now, number 94.
Quickly they get it to Torrey Hunter Jr. And a flag comes in at the end of the play as Torrey Hunter Jr. got it down to the 8-yard line.
Holding. Number 3. Offense. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
It's an unusual call. Offensive holding on a receiver. I mean, you obviously sometimes get offensive pass interference on a pick or a rub play, but very rarely do you hear offensive holding. Although it was a screen pass behind the line of scrimmage, and he's one of the lead blockers, and that's a clear hold. That's a correct call. Holding on the safety, Vaccaro.
Spot foul, so it's 2nd down from here, and he's going to pass back. It's a throwback, and it's just beyond Deshaun Kaiser as Torrey Hunter Jr. gave it a look.
Well, they had it. A little bit of an overthrow, and I think Kaiser maybe thought he was right on the sideline. They show the reverse. Kaiser is patient, and as he slips out, he's open. And I think he might have thought he was right on the sideline, and he stopped running and reached for the ball. If he keeps running, he might run under that right to the corner of the end zone.
So now a 3rd and 12. And they were able to get that timeout in as that play clock was running down.
30-second timeout.
Notre Dame had those 14 unanswered points in about 2.5 minutes. A thriller with the debut of Shane Buechele. And as Texas fans have had a lot to be happy about with their offense. And Deshaun Kaiser has brought the Irish back here. The closing moments of this 3rd quarter. Can they tie or take the lead? 3rd and 12. Incomplete. Hard hit coming in there from Elliott.
And Malik Jefferson had the underneath coverage, and it was a safety coming over the top.
And you can see the medical staff is right on top of Torrey Hunter Jr. as he was on the receiving end of that collision in the end zone. You see his dad there, long-time Major League Baseball star.
There was no flag either, no penalty called for any kind of targeting or a hit on a defenseless player at the collision of that end of that play.
See him moving his extremities throughout this process. As they are able to sit him up. Always a good sign. And a nice reception of well wishes from the Texas crowd as you see the concern on the face of his family. His mother and father here in Austin for this big opening game of Torrey's senior year. Up on his feet.
Well, again, the underneath coverage was Anthony Wheeler, and then coming over the top, Deshaun Elliott. As the ball is getting to the receiver, jars the ball loose. It was a good throw by Kaiser, 2 hands on it, but he's not able to complete the catch.
The process of the catch has to be completed all the way through.
Now, Joe, one thing that's interesting this year that's different is there was no targeting call on the field. But the replay officials this year have the ability to change that. If they think a targeting foul should have been called, they can call that down and make a change. It doesn't appear that that's happening, but that is a new rule in college football this year and will come into effect at some point this season.
12 straight field goal attempts made by Justin Yoon. And this one is blocked. A chance to tie the game goes away. Texas special teams comes up huge.
Nashawn Hughes, number 40, 6'4", 237 pounds, is the guy who gets his hand up in there. Times his jump and gets that left hand on a low kick, but Nashawn Hughes knocks it off course.
Just timed it perfectly. A guy who they expect to be an explosive playmaker off the edge. Became a playmaker on special teams right there. And Texas maintains their lead. And back to Chris Warren they go, and look at the push from the Texas offensive line. Motion here with a second remaining in the third quarter.
Grab the snap. Ball start. Number 3, offense. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Yeah, even if you want to go fast, you got to make sure everybody is set. I mean, you can't snap the ball until everybody is set for a second.
That's the end of the
call
third quarter.
Nashawn Hughes gives Texas the lead going into the fourth quarter. Can they hold on to it as Notre Dame gains some momentum there thanks to Kaiser? ABC Primetime College Football presented by Capital One will continue after this message and a word from our ABC. That is awesome stuff from that guy right there, Dr. Ruben Pizarro Silva, the play-by-play man for the Texas Spanish Radio Network. Longhorns #1 among Hispanic college football fans. I can listen to that call all day long. And here is the man he just called, John Burke, with the reception.
Nice play there on second down, bringing up a third and short. I really think, Joe, Texas needs to keep their foot on the gas here in the fourth quarter.
Chris Warren. Great job by that front of the Irish, including Isaac Rochelle.
See, in order to stop these big backs, you have to get penetration and get them before they get ahead of steam going. And that's exactly what Rochelle did that time. Got into the backfield and was able to stop Warren before he got ahead of steam. Get him moving sideways, wrap him up, and wait for your buddies to get there to help.
So the Aussie comes back out, and the dangerous Sanders waits for it. Able to turn this one over and drive Sanders back. Inside the 15. Gets past the first group and gets free out to midfield. Tremendous return by C.J. Sanders. It was the punter, Michael Dixon, who had to tackle him.
Well, first of all, a great job by Sean Crawford, number 20, blocking the first guy down. Then the return man, Sanders, makes the other guy miss and then picks up a few more blocks, and it's a huge return for the Irish. Get one block, make one guy miss, and now Notre Dame in great field position to start this possession.
And Sanders off of a 58-yard punt with a 4-5 hang time brings it back 40 yards. Notre Dame in position again.
Not a bad spot to take a shot deep down the field here after that return.
Try to get the wide receiver screen game going. Not so much. Holly.
Notre Dame's most experienced wide receiver, Torrey Hunter Jr., has been taken to the locker room to be further evaluated. It looks unlikely from what I've observed that he would return to this game. Guys, that's a huge deal because he had 28 catches coming into tonight. The rest of the wide receivers combined, only 2. Someone inexperienced has to step up right now.
And they targeted him 6 times already tonight. 4 receptions. We just saw Corey Holmes in the game moments ago. Second down now. Kaiser to run again. patiently waited for his blocks, and he's right at that line to make. We'll see where they mark it.
And then you see the power at the end of the run. 6'4", 230 pounds, and he moved the pile.
First down, Irish. After being down 31-14, Kaiser has found his groove. Notre Dame has had momentum. Can they capitalize? Still one great one to go. Monday night it'll be Ole Miss and Florida State. And you get the night going at 7 o'clock with college football countdown. You see the Hunter family heading into the locker room to check on Torrey. And we hope the best for him. Josh Adams gets to the corner and then forced out. So third down for Notre Dame.
You got to believe if you're going to throw the football now for Notre Dame with Torrey Hunter in the locker room, EQ St. Brown is your go-to guy. I mean, he's going to be your first look on any kind of pass play, and he's in the inside slot to the wide side of the field.
True freshman Kevin Stepherson is also in the game.
The second half.
As a timeout,
Media timeout
is used by Texas. It'll be 3rd and 3. 3-point game in the fourth quarter when we return. Toward Tom Blackledge, Holly Rowe with you here in Austin, Texas. A thriller on this Sunday night main event of a magnificent opening weekend of college football. What do you got for 3rd and 3, Irish? Texas has Nashawn Hughes, the guy who blocked a field goal moments ago, and a flag is down. He wraps up Deshaun Kaiser.
holding, 25 defense, 10-yard penalty, results in a first down.
First down, Notre Dame. As Antoine Davis was flagged.
He was looking for EQ St. Brown in the slot, and that's where the holding occurred, and it's a complete hold. It was a beautifully executed blitz by Texas. They had the quarterback wrapped up, but the ball wasn't out because of the holding penalty.
Good reason to wrap up EQ. He's got 5 receptions, couple of touchdowns, and with Hunter Jr. out, that's the main target. Kaiser.
Ball was tipped by Nashawn Hughes, who was dropping into underneath coverage.
He's been incredibly active, hasn't he, Todd?
Yeah, he's got length. I mean, he's got a real wingspan. We saw it on the blocked field goal, and we saw it right there on the tip pass. Because this was going to be a completion. There was a cushion on the outside. The defender was falling down, but Hughes is able to get a hand on the football.
Dexter Williams comes into the backfield now. 2nd and 10. Kaiser's missed his last 4 attempts. And the Longhorns able to get to him that time. Jefferson and Buechele among them.
Well, this is
Zaire looks on. It's been Kaiser's show in this second half.
This is the play of the game so far for the Texas defense right here. To get a stop on 3rd and 8 and force another field goal attempt.
Pressure on him. Lofts it up. Caught. Touchdown, Josh Adams. How about Deshaun Kaiser?
Another beautiful throw, and he had the matchup. Texas comes with a blitz. That means a linebacker, Anthony Wheeler, is responsible for Josh Adams. And the ball again thrown over the outside shoulder to the corner of the end zone. And a touchdown for Notre Dame. Kaiser read the blitz and then beat the blitz with a perfect throw.
Notre Dame comes all the way back. Josh Adams, whose first college carry was a touchdown run against Texas last year. Now, an even bigger moment. Go-ahead score. Deep in the heart of Texas. Irish on top. Programs. Two of the top 3 winningest programs in college football history putting on a show here. 12 national titles and 9 Heismans between them. And right now, it's the Irish with Uncle Mo. 21 unanswered points. They trailed 31-14. And now a 35-31 lead.
Well, Notre Dame only has 3 returning starters this year, but one of them is their best offensive lineman, Mike McGlinchey. Now watch him on this play, because there are going to be 2 guys blitzing, and he's basically responsible for both as the tight end releases. He's going to get enough of a piece of the outside man to give Kaiser time to make that throw. The inside rusher got held up by the tight end, and the outside rusher got a little bit of a push from McGlinchey, just enough for Kaiser to deliver the throw.
You're going to be hearing his name in the first round of the NFL draft next spring. The big guy from Philly. Buechele quickly out to John Burt, who was able to go ahead for a first down.
And that's a big play, because Texas was held without a first down their last 3 drives. So to get a first down to start this one, very important. I mean, they've got to stay aggressive, and for the first time, they're behind, but they've got to stay with what their plan is.
Hard to believe their first down. Look at that, since 10 minutes left in the third quarter. Consider how they started this second half with a 78-yard touchdown pass to Burt.
Ever since then, Notre Dame has not only controlled the ball, they've controlled the field position.
Flag is down as Foreman took the handoff.
Illegal formation. Offense. 5 players in the backfield. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
This is the thing you worry about with a new offense with young receivers. In the case of Gerard Hurd and another guy who we haven't seen tonight, Kai Loxley, are both quarterbacks that moved to receiver this summer.
Oh boy. Better secure that young man, and he does. Inside the 15 as Buechele had a jump on it. 17-yard loss.
Bad snap by the freshman, Zach Shackelford. They lined up a guy shading over his outside eye, and that snap was errant to the right.
A freshman center, an early enrollee. He exceeded expectations in spring and fall camp, but a critical moment there. Now 2nd and 31. Delay handoff isn't going anywhere. That's James Nwalu and Isaac Rochelle, who shut down Sterling Gilbert's efforts there with his offense.
I'll tell you what, this second half now, Isaac Rochelle has been a man. I mean, he has really come to play. He's used that quickness. He's in the backfield disrupting things. Just gets into the backfield, gets a piece of Foreman before, again, if you can hit these backs or make them change direction before they get a full head of steam, then you can get them to the ground pretty easily.
This is the 3rd time tonight that we've seen Kent Perkins come off the field, Todd. Senior from Dallas, who's been around here a long time. Played as a freshman for Mack Brown and that staff.
Right now, if you're Shane Buechele on this 3rd down and long, you can't do anything silly. You're still very much in the ball game, even though your offense has hit a bit of a wall.
No, nothing silly on 3rd and 33 there.
Punt the football and hope that your defense can get a stop. Again, one of the things that's been ever since that opening drive where Texas scored, the field position advantage for Notre Dame has been significant. And that starts to wear on you. It really does.
And that guy is a big part of it recently. Let's see if Sanders can get another good punt return here. As he tries to bring it back towards the middle and is taken down at the 25. Well, there's the magic man for the Irish right now. Deshaun Kaiser back on the field when we return. Stay with us.
Okay, they are so brave. The wall is like this close, and it's...
Holly, that was awesome. First Tennessee, Virginia Tech will be Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern on ABC from Bristol Motor Speedway. Kaiser to pass on 1st down. And it's incomplete as he wanted Stefferson. How'd you like that ride, Holly?
Well, it was terrifyingly exciting, I will say that. But what I'm impressed with is how they're able to transform that track. It's going to be about 100,000 people there around the track, and it's going to be a football field in the middle. I don't know how they're doing it, but I think it's a really cool idea. And a big shout out to Frank Beamer. I hope he gets to go down there and watch his Hokies play.
Right now, the guy who's been revving the engine is Kaiser with 5 total touchdowns, 4 passing for the Irish, giving them the lead here in the 4th quarter. Quarterback run, and Malik Jefferson is able to find him at the 29-yard line. So it'll be a 3rd down and an opportunity for this Texas defense to get off the field.
And again, remember, with the absence of Torrey Hunter Jr., you have a very youthful, inexperienced wide receiver group out there. Stefferson, who was targeted on the first play of this drive, is a true freshman out of Jacksonville.
Third and 6. Kaiser with options right at the line. He goes to C.J. Sanders.
Ruling on field, catch. 1st down.
That's good work by Sanders, knowing what was needed for the 1st down. Getting beyond the stick and then securing the catch.
Under 7.5 to play. Folston unable to bounce it as Boyette wrapped him up.
Right now, the other thing that Notre Dame is doing is they realize that the clock is on their side. With a 4-point lead, they don't want to sit on the football, but they want to utilize as much of the clock as they can to put as much pressure on the young freshmen in the Texas offense when they do get the ball back.
Adams. Nice one cut out just across the 40-yard line. Jefferson with yet another tackle.
Well, that was a nice cut. Really planted that left foot on the ground and went straight north and south inside Puna Ford, bringing up a 3rd down and 5. Texas showing a 3-man rush right here.
Kaiser, can he do it on his own? No, comes up short.
Well, he comes up short, but again, Brian Kelly's team has enjoyed the luxury of field position advantage this whole 2nd half. He wanted the 1st down there, but he knows he still has a chance to pin Texas back and maintain the field position edge.
So the guy they call Savage out to punt away here, see if he can flip this field. Tyler Newsom. As Ja'Cory Warwick awaits.
Bad kick.
Yep, and it was an umbrella punt off to the side, and Texas will have decent field position here as it's out close to the 32. So we pose the question, can the young guy, the true freshman, bring Texas back now? Buechele's on deck. Capital One, Joe Tessitore, Todd Blackledge, Holly Rowe with you in Austin, Texas, as the stage is now set for Shane Buechele, the freshman quarterback for Texas. As he keeps it, spins, and has a first down to start this drive with over 5 minutes to play, trailing by 4.
Well, the first time they've run that play with him with the option to keep, and it gets him out near the 50-yard line. So a good start to this drive. Got plenty of time, and he has 2 timeouts.
Quickly gets it out to Burke. You know, consider they were up by 17 points. Texas 75-0 when leading by 17 or more going back to 2004. But the Irish have come all the way back thanks to DeShone Kizer. 75-0 in a span of 12 years when they're up by the margin they were in the third quarter. 2nd and 5. Quick throw, and Ja'Cory Warwick, who's a quick guy, has a 15-yard reception, and here come the horns.
Notre Dame was coming with an outside blitz. They brought a secondary guy, Julian Love, and Buechele saw it and threw right to the voided area.
Here's Buechele again with time, and another reception to the 30-yard line to Foreman.
Now, this is a great start. And just look at Buechele's eyes. There's calmness in his eyes. I like what I see out of him right now as he's marching his team down the field.
Foreman trying to keep his balance, and he does. Just plows ahead for another first down for the Horns.
See, now you notice Texas, with this momentum in the drive, they're not going as fast because they want to use some clock as well.
Buechele. Was that intercepted?
No,
Incomplete. Cole Luke made a heck of a play on it.
Incomplete pass. 2nd down.
We're going to take a peek at this, but they call it incomplete time.
It was really well played by Cole Luke coming over the top. There's the ball on the ground between his legs. Bounces back up to him.
Buechele threw it to the inside and gave Cole Luke a chance. And now a second chance for this Texas offense.
Notre Dame timeout.
Timeout. Notre Dame. 2nd timeout. Notre Dame wants to challenge the previous play where the ball was a catch.
No, they're not going to like the result of that challenge.
Bill Lamonier, I'm assuming that the same rules apply to a defender as a wide receiver on whether a catch is a catch, correct?
A catch is a catch. You've got to control the ball. You got to be inbounds. You got to survive the hit, survive the ground. That ball went right through his hands. He smothered it to the ground.
Incomplete pass. 2nd down.
Good call by the officials. Good call by replay.
A new life for Shane Buechele in this Texas offense. Again, they need a touchdown.
Notre Dame is charged the 2nd timeout of the 2nd half.
Had the challenge been successful, that wouldn't be the case in the timeout, but it leaves them with 1. 3:55 to play. 10th-ranked team in the country who absolutely smashed the Longhorns last year, 38-3. It's been a back-and-forth brawl all night long with a heck of an Irish comeback.
And Texas has answered the one question. Are they going to be more competitive this year? Absolutely.
Foreman on second down. Good block in front. He's inside the 20. It'll be third down from there after the gain of 5. Sebastian with the tackle.
The next question, do they have what it takes to find a way to win a game like this? They've played well. They've played well enough to win in a lot of ways, but they've got to figure it out right here.
Here's third down. What a run that time by Deontay Foreman. Blocked. The extra point blocked. It can be returned. Are you kidding me? Shaun Crawford. Oh, my. A flag is down. We will check on that.
I think it was Buechele who got his hand on the football. He's been in the backfield against the offense. That time he was in the backfield against the kick.
During the return, sideline interference against the Texas bench. That 15-yard penalty being forced on the kick. The 2 points stand.
In one of the oddest ways you could ever dream up to tie a game, it just happened. Welcome back, college football. Give me more. Shaun Crawford, incredible return off this blocked extra point.
Kick was low. Crawford picks it up on the hop. And the interference on the Texas bench, this play was running down the Notre Dame sideline. So all I can think is they got in the way of an official running down the field and made contact. There's the block. And it bounces right up to Shaun Crawford. Buechele was in there and Jerron Jones, number 94. Both of those guys had penetration. I think it might have been Jones who got his hand on it.
6'5.5", senior, got up, was able to get it.
And the thing that penalty ensures is that Notre Dame should be able to again force a long field situation for the Texas offense.
Can you believe how we have arrived at 37-37 time? Of all the ways you could dream it up, try to come up with that one. And there was confusion, by the way, prior to the snap there.
Well, the official looks at the clock, and then he looks to the ball. And if the ball is moving when it hits 0, they don't make a call.
Holly, what says you?
Well, when they were getting ready to line up for that attempt, Connor Williams, the offensive tackle, had to find him and get him running out there late. So the play clock was almost down to 1. When they kicked the ball, he had to rush the kick because Williams was late getting out there in his position.
And also it was Alex Anderson, the backup to Kent Perkins, who was playing that left guard spot that Jerron Jones just blew up and was able to get his big arm up.
A really costly penalty as Notre Dame's going to get good field position to
Sanders
start.
fields it from the 11 to your point, Todd. And gets it out near the 29-yard line. 3:23 to play in an outrageously entertaining game here in Austin. And I don't think that young man is phased at all. He has been awesome. DeShone Kizer, 4 touchdown passes and a touchdown run for the Irish. Brought him all the way back. Then Texas came back. And then special teams wackiness has us tied. Folston wrapped up, spun, and a minimum gain as Malik Jefferson gets to him.
You know, just remember, Notre Dame in that last possession defensively had to use a timeout. There was some confusion, so they used their second timeout. So right now, with 3 minutes left in the game, they only have 1 timeout left.
Coach's challenge on what they thought was an interception cost them the timeout. Under 3 minutes to play. Play action. Kizer. He is going to go down. That was P.J. Locke coming in from that nickel spot. 3rd sack of the night for Texas.
It was play action away, and P.J. Locke is coming unblocked to the outside. And Kizer doesn't pick him up until too late. They fooled DeShone Kizer with that outside pressure.
This is a wall of sound. Take it in. 3rd and 12. Conservative. And they'll be punting as we're under 2 minutes.
Timeout. Texas. That's their second timeout in the second half.
So Texas wisely uses the timeout, holds on to 1. They'll be getting the ball back. 1:56.
Biggest game here in Austin in a long time.
Let's see if he gets that chance. Newsom to punt. Warwick heels on his 30. Calls for the fair catch around the 32. Plenty of time, the 1 timeout, and the youth and confidence of Shane Buechele. They put together a nice-looking drive last time out. But the blocked PAT and the return by Crawford has Charlie Strong sitting there staring at 37-37. Can the new kid in town do it? Let's find out. They're going to start on the ground with Foreman, who gets to the edge and rips off a pretty good one. He's out to the 48-yard line, 15 yards on 1st down.
123 yards on the night now on 21 carries for Foreman.
They're going to stay with him. As he crosses midfield, a gain of 4. Rear Martini able to corral him. And we got 90 seconds remaining in regulation in this thriller. Will Domain get his chance? He was set to be the starter at LSU. Les says, I'm going to need that scholarship. Got to be a walk-on. He said, no thanks. Shane Buechele wiggling and weaving his way inside the 35.
Clock stops while they move the chains, and nice adjustment by Buechele. He wanted to throw it. It wasn't there. He tucked it and went straight up the field for a big 1st down.
By the way, Domain's career long is 45 yards. So they got some work to do to make him comfortable. Flag comes in here.
Chop block, number 77 on the offense. 15-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Very costly penalty because they were moving closer to field goal range. And now they're outside of it with just under a minute left to play. Patrick Vahe, number 77.
They're bringing the ball back to the 49-yard line. One timeout remains, but it's 1st and 25. Bad snap again, and Texas all of a sudden is going in the wrong direction, Todd.
Now at this point, if you're Charlie Strong, you got to think, do I start thinking about overtime now, or do I take one more big shot here?
Clock is counting down. Half a minute in regulation. Play action. Buechele taking his time and throwing it away. So a couple times tonight, it's been the freshman center off the mark. Freshman quarterback, for the most part's been right on that target.
Well, that chop block penalty really took it out of them. It really took the wind out of their sails. They were moving. They had momentum. And now they've been going backwards ever since.
Buechele, downfield he goes, complete! No, they're saying he's out. As
on the field, incomplete pass. 4th down.
As a Monty Foreman trying to tiptoe the sidelines. Oh, you saw that foot already stepped on the white, and he was pulled way out to the side. That Texas bench was crowding that sideline, blocking our view from up here. Nobody's back for Notre Dame.
They're in a safe punt formation.
As this is skied into the end zone, and 7 ticks will remain. You enjoying being back to work, my friend?
Yeah, this is pretty fun.
Well, that kid's pretty fun to watch, isn't he? Kaiser's been something in this second half. Who's up for overtime? Don't go anywhere. Join in the fun for a little longer. Down here in Austin, Texas. ABC Primetime College Football presented by Cal in Austin. Number 10 Notre Dame, who trailed by 17, rallied back. Texas answered, and then one of the oddest plays you'll ever seen. An extra point blocked and returned for a 2-point conversion to get us to overtime.
All right, guys, each team will get possession in the overtime. Notre Dame has used their challenge, so they would all have a challenge. Each team will have 1 timeout. If we go to a 3rd overtime and you score a touchdown, you have to go for 2. All right, the winner of the toss will have the option of offense, defense, or the end of the field. Notre Dame, you're visitors. What's your call? Tails. He's called tails. It is tails. Notre Dame, you won the toss. Offense, defense, or end of the field? Defense. They want defense. Which end of the field do you want to play on?
We want to defend that end zone.
Which end of the field do you want to play? Be 1st and 10 for you, 25.
Yes, sir.
All right, turn your back here. Texas will have the first possession First and 10 at the 25.
So coin toss advantage Notre Dame. They'll know exactly what they have to do, how they have to match in that first overtime. What a weekend of college football, my partner.
Yeah, I mean, this is great. And you know, a couple kicking mistakes. Either team probably sitting there thinking we could have won this game, should have found a way to win the game. As it is, we go to overtime. And, you know, both teams in the overtime have what it takes because they've had good run and pass balance. You know, I don't just favor Kaiser because he's a little older. I think Buechele's played above his years. He's played as a mature guy. Plus, you wonder, Texas also has the 18-wheeler package that might come into effect in the red zone, in the goal line.
Todd, that's a great point. The shortened field, they've had success with Swoopes running the ball. The big bodies in the backfield. We'll see if that's what we get at some point here. How deep into the night will we go? Buechele to pass on first down, and he gets it complete to Warwick, who gets free and is just tripped up. But it's going to be first and goal, Texas, a 20-yard pitch and catch.
Boy, really quick feet by Warwick. Eludes the one defender and almost takes it into the end zone on the first play.
Great start for Buechele. Foreman was met. Tried to bounce free, but finally it was on Walu and Martini bringing him to the ground.
Here comes Swoopes. Nope. I thought they were going to bring him in. He was moving up towards Sterling Gilbert, but they changed their mind. Second and goal.
Freshman quarterback inside the 5, taken down by Rochelle. Shane Buechele. Such a big moment. And here comes that 18-wheeler. You hear the crowd with the Swoopes call. Big boys are coming in. Little freshmen coming out. Loaded backfield with a whole lot of heavies.
Notre Dame trying to run a guy on late.
Play clock down to 5. Third and goal. Swoopes into the end zone. Touchdown, Texas.
It's a counter play. The guard and the tight end are going to lead, and Swoopes is going to get right in behind them. Good blocking at the point of attack. A 250-pound quarterback. And Texas scores first in overtime.
Well, they better block well here on this extra point.
I remember last time it was Rochelle with the penetration, and Jerron Jones, number 94, got his hand on the football. They're right there in the middle.
Up and through. So a touchdown margin. Notre Dame has to match. Reminder, we invite you to stay tuned for the Ford wrap-up after this thriller. Look at that bounce in that step. He's got that giddy up. Natural-born winner is Shane Buechele. And Tyrone Swoopes has played his role.
He has, and I'm impressed with his maturity in handling this situation, handling a young freshman quarterback starting ahead of him and being ready to play his role well when his number was called.
But the Irish, the whole second half, their offense has found a way. Kaiser trying to set up the screen. C.J. Sanders inside the 10. Oh, we may have a second overtime if an extra point can go in here.
to double clutch this. He wasn't able to throw it when he first wanted to. Watch Kaiser start to throw, pull it back down, and then reload. Good execution as the lineman got downfield. Equanimous Brown, St. Brown with a nice block at the point of attack.
Remember, Justin Yoon had a field goal attempt blocked in the third quarter for a second overtime.
Well, the Texas defense will be right back on the field.
44-44. And he'll turn it right around. Head back out there. A lot of folks had a sense that this was the most improved team in college football, Texas. And everybody knew that Notre Dame was loaded with blossoming talent to go with some capable veterans and a true playoff contender. And it has been a brilliant matchup here in Austin.
About an hour ago, I think, I asked you the question and made the point that Texas has already proven that they're a different team. They're more competitive. They are going to be a player in the Big 12 this year. Now, the question is, can they find a way to win a game like this? It's right there for their taking. Obviously, Notre Dame's not going to give it to them. But do they have what it takes to find a way to win a game of this magnitude?
And can Charlie Strong's defense find a way to slow down DeShone Kizer, who has 5 touchdown passes and 1 rushing? A 6-touchdown night after weeks of hearing nothing but 2-quarterback system. You won't be hearing that any longer. There's your man right there. Second overtime. Here we go. Speed option right. Keeps. Met. Forward to the 20-yard line. A gain of 5. Malik Zaire looks on. Notre Dame faithful hope that Kizer keeps moving on here in our second overtime. Adams wrapped up by Paul Boyette.
Boyette just slipped right around the block of the left guard. I mean, there was a guy assigned to him. Quentin Nelson just whiffed. And Boyette, with quickness, got into the backfield for a loss of yardage play.
Third and 7, overthrown as they tried to come across to Kevin Stepherson.
I think it was Malik Jefferson came right into the throwing view of DeShone Kizer on that throw. The ball sailed over his intended receiver. Jefferson came on an inside stunt and effected the throw with his body.
So now the field goal attempt by Justin Yoon. Had one blocked earlier, was sensational at the end of his freshman season. And Justin puts it through. Nice and smooth. But will a 3-point lead hold up in double overtime? Been a long time since History for a youngin's been made down here in Texas. A true freshman. Hasn't won a game. Started at quarterback for the Longhorns going back to 44. Bobby Lane. But now that opportunity exists for Shane Buechele.
And remember, this offense came from the Art Briles Baylor offense is a power run and vertical pass game.
Low snap. Able to get it off as Foreman makes his way to just short of the 20. Shackelford has to be steady.
Yep.
He's had a few errant snaps. 2nd and 5. Here goes Shane. Trying to pull a defender forward. And it'll be 3rd and about a yard as Sterling Gilbert.
The crowd started calling for Swoopes before he came running on the field.
You got 102,000 offensive coordinators here tonight, Todd. So the 18-wheeler package comes in on 3rd and 1. Here goes Swoopes. Easily stood up to it. Inside the 10. Fighting his way down to the 6-yard line. 1st and goal, Horns.
There are Notre Dame bodies on the ground. And just Tyrone Swoopes running with great power and authority. Remember now, fresh legs too. He hasn't played as many snaps as either Shane Buechele or Deshaun Kaiser. And he is fresh running the football.
He's got 50 pounds on Avery Sebastian, and Avery Sebastian is still down. This has been a brilliant changeup at times from Sterling Gilbert. Of Buechele in the passing game, the running game with Foreman and Warren, and then every so often, when you're just feeling it, here comes the 18-wheeler.
Now remember, Avery Sebastian is playing in there because one of the players that was arrested and was actually dismissed from the team, Max Redfield, was the starting safety. And he is probably the guy they missed the most during that situation. Avery Sebastian in there playing a 6th-year guy out of McDonough, Georgia, down right now. So they'll be down to another young safety. I'm guessing it would be Devin Studstill, number 14, who is a true freshman from Riviera Beach, Florida.
So the medical staff assessing Avery Sebastian. He's seen a lot of college football. A 6-year senior who was a grad transfer from Cal. So Avery able to walk off the field here. Todd, take a look at what happened on the back end of this play beyond Swoopes coming at him.
Yeah, well, first he hits Swoopes, and then at the end of the play, he's going to get leg whipped by his own guy, and intentionally, Jerry Tillery, the 6'5", 310-pound tackle. Good to see him up on his own and walking to the sideline. Yeah, I think you keep Swoopes in right now because you still have Foreman as a running option. If the quarterback runs, Foreman becomes an extra blocker, as he has been most of the time when Swoopes is in the ballgame.
A touchdown wins it for the Longhorns. 1st and goal. Good play by Rochelle.
You have to get penetration behind the line of scrimmage and stop Swoopes or Foreman, or Warren for that matter, before they get a full head of steam. They're too big and powerful if they get their shoulders turned upfield and get some momentum behind them.
Swoopes dancing for the win. Texas is back, folks.
job by Swoopes eluding a free rusher. Jerry Tillery, number 99, comes unblocked. Swoopes sidesteps him and then sets up the block by his guard, Buechele, and then reaches the ball across the plane before the knee touches. Incredible individual effort by Tyrone Swoopes. First to elude an unblocked man, and then to get the ball across the goal line.
After review, ruling on the field confirmed, touchdown, game over.
And let that be a lesson to every young man out there looking for playing time. That's a senior staying the course, buying in, and still contributing with a freshman taking his starting job.
Now, when you talk about team chemistry, when you talk about changes and everybody buying in, it has to start with your older guys. And Tyrone Swoopes is to be commended for the way he's handled his situation this year and how he played tonight.
With 3 rushing touchdowns on a night where they went back and forth with thrills and chills, a lot of drama, and a fabulous finish.